renounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
We are here with Ant-Man, and we're bringing it back. Not just on here, but with Ben Johnson staying in Detroit. Ant-Man, what's going on, brother?
Oh man, it's been a rotten last couple of days, and we've really gone through it, and now that just happened 10 minutes ago, and it's like, yes, hell yes, that is exactly what I needed today to perk me up, as well as seeing you, Mike. But that's the second best thing to happen to me today. So, our offensive genius is staying, and we're going to make another run at the Lombardi, and we're going to do it with one of our most pivotal pieces in place. This is huge. When was the last time? Like, people joke, oh, no one wants to come to Detroit. Well, no one wants to leave now. I'm staying. I'm staying. They cannot get rid of me. I am staying, and I'm going to see this through until it is done. And that is what Detroit is now. People want to stay here, and they want to win a Lombardi before they go and start their own ventures. And that just shows how far this organization has come. I'm over the moon.
I literally just made a video about an hour and a half ago on my personal channel talking about how I think Ben Johnson leaves to watch Commanders. I am so happy I am completely wrong. And maybe Aaron Glenn gets that. Maybe it's Aaron Glenn who's going to get this job there. But all I know is we got the great mind coming back to Detroit. Ben Johnson, we're bringing it back, folks. And now, look, I know everybody's sad we lost this last game. I get it. But guess what? We're going to have around $68 million cap space. Okay? We've got Ben Johnson coming back. Dan Campbell coming back. Jared Goff will be back. The whole offense basically is going to be back. And we got money to spend a free agency in the NFL draft. Ant-Man, the future looks bright for Detroit.
It does. And when, the waters have subsided from this loss, we will look back on this season like, we've made significant progress going forward, significant progress. And we all knew there was still a few areas of the team that were holding us back and that we need to address. But the great part is Brad, slowly but surely over the last 3 years, has been going through all the areas of the team, making it better, making it sustainable for the future. And he'll do it again this year. And there's less areas to fix now. So we can go into next year with a very competitive roster. It's going to be hard because we're going to have a harder schedule and all that. But we've got the experience now. And now we've got the minds coming back as well. We've got the coaching staff, the same guys to run it with. It makes it so much easier. You've got Goff, who has his play caller back, the guy who's made him the guy he is now. The players respect him. We respect him. And you know what? It's just very sensible from Ben, because like too many guys, I think, in the NFL now, these hotshot coordinators, they're too quick to go into head coaching jobs. We've all said Ben still has issues to sort out with his game. Some of the play calling, the offense does go a little bit dead for a bit, and that he's still got areas to work on. So another year in Detroit, another year as an offensive coordinator, and hopefully going one step further. That means he's going to be ready for the job, and it means we're going to get the very best out of him. So this just works across the board for everybody. So, and again, it's just indicative of the culture here. That's twice he's turned away opportunities to leave here now. He wants to stay. And as long as this program keeps moving forward, a lot of our guys are going to want to keep staying. So we thought, well, that was Ben. That's it with Ben last year. But because he's seen how far we've come in such a short space of time, he's bought into the fact that we can go back next year and win it. And that just says everything you need.
Turn down head coaching jobs, Ant-Man, because you think you can bring it back. It means he believes he can bring it back. He is banking that we're gonna win the Lombardi Trophy next year. That's what he's banking on, folks. That's the reason he stayed last year. Why? Is because he felt like there was something special. It's special. We got to the NFC Championship game, should have won it. But now he's coming back. We got more money. We got Don't have big-time free agents that we got to worry about re-signing like a franchise tag. Well, like, we really don't have that. We got names, obviously, they're free agents. We're going to get through that. This team is going up. It's not going down. We're in the beginning of this bad boy. And I think we're going to be a team like the 49ers that are going to be good for a long time. And they're going to look, the Lions, right? You know how it is. San Francisco was known before the season started they would go to the Super Bowl, right? We're going to be a team now. It's going to be like, yeah, the Lions are legit. And you're right, man. It's going to be harder. The NFC North is going to be tougher. Green Bay Packers are better. Okay, the Chicago Bears are going to be better. I think they're close to a playoff team over there. And the Vikings, all they need is quarterback, right? And they'll be good. But guess what? When you play, I think in 2024, the NFC North will be the toughest division, and it will prepare you for the playoffs. I think at this point, like we've already confirmed, Ant-Man, and I think everybody else, that we're a good team. Now it's just like, let's go out there and just do what we know we can do. Right? We're better. Just do what we know we can do. We got to the NFC Championship. Let's go to a Super Bowl in 2024.
Yeah, we're built for sustainable success because we've got a lot of young players on the team on rookie deals. You can manage the cap. You can go and spend a little bit, especially in this next year or two now before some of the big deals start hitting, because you can pay Amon-Ra, you can pay Penny, just put it on the end of the rookie deals. You've got a couple of year window now where you can go and spend before those deals come in and just add to the end of this roster. But even when that is said and done, when that window's closed, we're still going to have our cornerstones here for a long time to come. And we've still got a GM who's just going to keep drafting studs every year, which has been his modus operandi so far. So we are built for long-term success here, and we'll be back. And this team's just going to get hungrier. Every time it's hit a wall, it's got up again, and it's found a way over that wall. And this is just the latest venture in that. But this is huge, and not just for him, because think potentially of the guys he could have taken with him. I mean, everyone was going full doomsday and saying, "Oh, Hank Fraley's going to go with him."
That was my fear.
Where now? So, like, Hank he's the most important member of staff to keep here. Like, out of everybody, that offensive line put in a Super Bowl level performance the other day. Like, it did, at least for a full half. And you've just seen the job he's done there with him. He needs to stay. He's going to stay now. So it's not just Ben staying. It's the repercussions it has in the organization. We're not going to lose our other offensive stars, like at coach, either. So this just maintains everything we need. We just need to add more talent, give them to these guys who are proven to develop in, and we'll just keep going places. So this is huge in so many ways for us. And like, yeah, let's go. They're going to be going for it now. They're going to be gunning for that Lombardi next year. And, I'm all in.
I was depressed yesterday. After we lost the NFC Championship, I was very depressed yesterday. I didn't want to do anything. And one of the reasons I was depressed is I did believe Ben Johnson was going to leave. I did believe he's going to take a bunch of coaches with him and maybe some free agents. And I thought, boy, oh boy, that's going to it's going to hurt us in 2024, losing these coaches and potentially, some free agents, stuff like that. Now, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. The offense is coming back. This top 3 offense in the National Football League will be back in 2024. It's going to be better. Why is it going to be better? Because we got to talk about free agency now. Okay. We have some free agents that didn't pan out. We'll start with the offense. The offensive line, Ant-Man, Jonah Jackson. I don't think he's coming back. And he's been injured, so the Lions could upgrade at the guard position. Graham Glasgow may come back. We may get a 1-year deal from him. Big V ain't coming back. So, they can go to this free agency. They can get, or in the draft, get a guard that actually could stay healthy. Continuity in the offensive line. It's the craziest thing to think about. So you can get better there. And there's somebody put in the chat here, Tony, you're correct. He is staying. Ben Johnson's staying. He just came out and said that he's staying to Detroit. Thanks to Ant-Man. He told me right before we went live, and I checked and confirmed it. It's real. And the Lions they get better in the defense. Defense. Focus on drafting players on defense. That's what they can do to get better. Let's talk about Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn was with the Commanders as well. Do you think he gets the job at Washington?
I don't know at this stage. I don't know whether he will also use this, because again, like both our coordinators, they've both got work to do. Like with Ben, Like the third quarter stuff's got to stop, and he needs to get better at that. But with Glenn, like he needs to show consistently that his defenses can be great, because I know he's finished off the end of the season with a bang. He's done a terrific job, and if he's going to have a situation this year where we're going to invest a lot of that free agency money in the defense, we get another couple of high draft picks in there. If he can create a Super Bowl caliber defense here as well, his range of options might go better than the Commanders, because, I mean, let's not take this in, it's the Commanders. They have a history for been a bad organization, not treating the coaches the best, for a lot of it going wrong there. They might just say, you know what, we'll do one more year and we'll see if we can run back and win this, both of them, and make themselves better guys in the process. Because the more experience you get, the better you get. Like, both of them still have kinks to work out in the game. So maybe he'll look at it the same now and go, I want to run it back. Because Dan's shown a lot of faith in him. Like, Dan could have fired him a long time ago, and he didn't. And he stayed true to him. So, I don't know. This just feels maybe like that whole team has gotten together and said, this is just the beginning. We can do this. We're a few pieces away. We've got Brad in charge. Brad will sort the roster for us. It's up to us to go and win it next year, and we'll run it all back. And I wouldn't have an issue with that.
100%. So again, breaking news, Ben Johnson staying in Detroit. Ben Johnson staying in Detroit, huge. If Aaron Glenn leaves, if he does get a head coaching job, we'll get 2 compensatory third-round draft picks. That's big. That's big. And in all honesty, if you were to tell me what coordinator, if you had one to pick to leave, it'd be AG for me. Ben Johnson is great. Who could replace if Aaron Glenn leaves? I mean, you can go in-house and you can go outside of house. There's options there defensively. Great news. Either way, whatever happens, it's great news. Ben Johnson staying. That should be the biggest offseason move we can have this year. We're going to talk about free agency. We're going to talk about the draft. The number one move just occurred right now. Ben Johnson staying in Detroit. That's it. Huge. Let's get into some of these free agents, though. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Ant-Man, do you think that he returns?
Maybe it depends on money there. I'm not sure. And I don't know. I do love him, and sort of like his bravado and his brashness and stuff like that. I do kind of like it, but at the same time, you need to back it up on the field as well. And I don't know whether he's done enough to justify keeping him on unless the price tag is small. And he's probably going to want more money this year. So I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'd have Iffy, Kirby, and Branch there. They're the future of the position. So we should probably give it to them.
I want you guys to follow us here, too. We're going to go over some free agents. Say stay or go. And we're just going to start naming off some guys. I think he goes too. I mean, I wouldn't mind him back, CJ Gardner-Johnson. I think it's more of a financial thing. I know, yeah, he misses tackles, and yeah, he talks garbage. But folks, you remember he got injured and he was coming back from injury. So the talking garbage, I'm fine with. I don't mind that at all. Because he will back it up. He will back it up. So and he's 26. So I don't care. I would like him to come back. I don't think he does. I'm with you. No. Romeo Aquara, not even going to really talk about it. He's not coming back. Yeah, man.
No, we need to jettison the depth edge room and start again. Same with
Charles Harris. He's gone. Not coming back. He's been inactive for many games. He's not come back. Emmanuel Mosley, there's no reason to bring him back, in my opinion.
If you can get him in on a Vetmin deal, something really cheap, I would get him in just to see, because if he's healthy enough to have a full off season and you can get good out of it, he will far surpass the value of that contract. So I would still keep him here just in case, because we are going to probably go young at corner, and you need a guy in the room like him. So I would try and float a deal to keep him here another year.
Okay, people are now in the comment section. T-Max says no. CJ, he'll stay. He's like, see, so there's people are 50-50 on it as well. We need a corner, Zach. So you're 100% right, man. Look. If you say vet minimum, I'm all for it. Compete, see if he can be healthy. But anything bigger than that, I think it's a waste of money. I think we need to go towards people that are maybe a little bit younger and more healthier. That's just my personal opinion. And you're right. We're going to go through them. Don't worry about it, guys. Graham Glasgow, 32, 1-year deal. I think he comes back for 1 year.
Yeah, the money's right. I'd give him a good deal with some good incentives on there.
Jonah's not coming back. I don't think he's coming back. It's too much money. And if he doesn't come back, same with Big V, Lions need a guard. Go ahead, Ant-Man.
So with Jonah, all I will say is I'm taking a lot of issue to everyone because a lot of people are saying, oh, he's asking too much money, he's asking this. Let's just remember that Jonah served this franchise with distinction. He's had 1 year with injury. Like, he's had 4 years here, and for 3 years, he's been the epitome of health, and he's been a big reason why our offensive line has been so good. Yes, he's had his struggles this year, but for the most part, he has been good. And as you can see there, he's 27. This might be his only chance at a big, contract, a big veteran contract. Because if he gets 4 years, he could be 31. He's not going to get any bigger. If he's just a case of he wants to test free agency to see what people are willing to offer, because there is a dearth of offensive linemen around, I do not blame him for that in the slightest. If he comes back, great. I think he'd be worth it to bring him back. We don't know what he's asking
I was told
we don't know what the deal is.
I got told he wants top 5 offensive guard money.
If it's true, then let him have a look.
Yeah,
see what's out there.
Let
Because
him have a
lot of players will do that, and I've got no issue with.
And we offered a contract, and he turned it down as top 10.
Yeah, but I've got no issue with a guy going, you know what? Let me just see, and then if it's there, I'll come back. That's fine. That's his right to. But
do you think he comes back? Do you think? Not what you want. What do you think? That's what I'm saying. I took a great contract, great. But if he wants top 5 and you already turned down one, I don't think he's coming back. What do you think?
If it's that high, then no. But I also think that I do somewhere because I think he loves being here. I think he would take a little less money to stay here and be part of this. So I think he does come back.
Okay, you say do, I say don't. I wouldn't mind him back. He's good. He's good. Big V, he's not coming back. He's done. He may even retire. I'm not even going to spend more time on it. He's not coming back. What do you think, man? No?
Again, I would just be if I could vet min him as depth. I'd like to have him as like offensive lineman 8 or 9. If I can vet min him, I'd bring him back. But
Dan Skipper. I think he'll make the roster in 2024. He won't make the 53, but he'll somehow get on. Dan Skipper's loved. He'll be back.
Dan will be here for as long as he wants to be.
Dan's awesome. He's a fan favorite. He's not asking for a lot of money. Everyone likes Dan Skipper. He'll be back. Michael Badgley. This one's interesting. I think the Lions draft a kicker. I think I'm going to go with Gone. You say?
It's time. There's some really good kickers in this class. Some really good ones. It's like, get young. Just start from scratch again. We can't have this stuff next year.
Again, if you're just getting in here and you see breaking that the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson is staying, awesome. We're going to keep going back to the breaking news, but we're going over free agency. We want to kind of keep it fresh a little bit. Then we'll come back to it, and we'll go back, and then we'll take your guys' QA here. Josh Reynolds, I say bring him back on a 1-year deal. I know he dropped passes in the NFC Championship game, but other than that, he's been really good for the Lions.
He has, but he's just capped his contract. Like, I ain't giving him too much. I'm drafting a receiver this year.
I'm
still drafting an outside guy, but he's capped his contract this year because you don't want him in there in the vital situations anymore.
Teddy Bridgewater's retiring, so he's not even going to be here. Will Harris is gone. Bye-bye. Finally. Good God.
Feels like a lifetime, doesn't it?
Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah, he'll be gone finally. I think for me, that's great news. Jalen Reeves may have been 29. He's a pro.
You know what? Keep him.
I'm going to say keeper, too.
And I've been like the biggest critic like before he came back here and whilst he was here in his first stint. But even to me now, he's proven that he's got a spot here. Keep him.
Everybody, again, in the comment section, put in there, who do you want gone? Just, I'm watching you guys. I want to see what you guys think, too. Nate Sudfeld's not coming back. Hendon Hooker's your backup. That's just the way it is. Matt Nelson. I'm going to say no.
He's coming off a really bad injury as well. So I've been saying for years, we need to try and upgrade the tackle position. We've got Colby in here. Like, we're developing him. He can play tackle. Let Sauce still take the reps and let Nelson go elsewhere.
He'd be a backup. It's not like a starter. Anyways, Julian Akwara, not coming back.
See ya, bye.
Bye-bye. Jake McQuaid, long snapper, doesn't matter.
Depends with Daly, I guess. Daly's here on IR, isn't he? So I guess it depends. Oh, no, he's restricted, so maybe.
9 drinks. What the F? First, I heard Will Harris. LOL. I'm seeing you guys' comments here. Craig Reynolds, bring him back in a 1-year deal.
No, I'm drafting another running back.
Ooh, he's drafting. He says no. Okay, so we got two yes and 1 no. So we're so you say draft 1. I don't mind drafting running back.
I draft a highly talented day 3 guy to sit behind the other 2 and develop, because there's a lot of good guys in the draft this year who can sit behind Monty and Gibbs and come in when needed and can be a long-term development for Monty. So I would do it again. I would set the room up again there behind those 2.
So you say draft RB. I say keep Craig Reynolds. Difference. That's fine. Kindle Vildor. I don't mind him as a depth. He's not. He
I'd
should
give Vildor a deal.
not be a starter.
Oh no, I will give Vildor 100% a deal though. Like as a depth player here, he has earned it. So yeah, I would give him a deal.
A true backup, like a real backup, not like a Will Harris backup, but a real one. Jason Kabinda, I think he's back because he has pictures on these guys.
No one uses fullbacks though. You can keep him on the practice. No one's going to take him.
I know.
He will always be around us, and I would. Yeah.
I don't hate the guy, or I see better people. Shane Zylstra and Scott Daly restricted, and Brock Wright, they'll be back.
So Zylstra and Daly are just coming off really bad injuries, aren't they? It depends how they are when they've recovered from their injuries, I guess, because they were quite serious. So
Shane's had it right in the beginning of the year too, so he should. Yeah. Benito Jones will be back. Anthony Pittman, I don't even know if he makes the roster, man. The 53-man roster, the LBs are pretty good. They'll probably get another linebacker in the draft or something. So I'm going to say no with Anthony Pittman, even though I don't really care. Donovan Peoples-Jones, hell yeah, bring him back. Why not bring him back? Is he the greatest wide receiver? No. I say yeah.
But at least with a full offseason with the team and training camp and all that, you should be able to introduce him to the system a lot more. He'll have proper time to integrate into the team. So if he's wide receiver 5 or 6, like that's a good depth room, that is. So
great depth. Yep.
Yeah.
100%, man. And depth, folks, and you're like, oh, depth's not that important, is just as important. You're trying to go to a Super Bowl, every single player counts. 53 and practice squad. Everyone, man. That's why it's so important that we're always talking about it here. Hey, Mike and Ant, such great news about Ben. Go Lions. Absolutely. There, my guy. Again, we're going to get back to it. Ben Johnson staying in Detroit. Awesome, awesome news for the Detroit Lions. Khalil Dorsey, I personally don't care if he comes back. I'm not the biggest Khalil Dorsey fan. Maybe his depth, but I think don't really care.
He's got good special teams value, and I think he does make plays. If he's like the lowest corner on the depth chart, that's fine.
Future for Ertz here? No, there's no future for Ertz here.
No.
He's old. The Lions they got look, the reason we brought him back is due to injuries to all our tight ends. That's the reason he was brought in on here. Brock Wright will be back next year. I think everybody likes Brock Wright. We got great tight ends. Not worried about it. Running back Zonovan Knight, I personally don't care. I thought he's all right. Bring him in here. He's only 23. See if he makes 53. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, I agree. I could keep him around, see what he does in camp.
Yep. Cornerback Jerry Jacobs.
Keep him.
So you say they gonna keep him. You think they keep him?
So in an ideal world, you would have the likes of Jerry and Vildor as your backups to come in and play true snaps behind a cornerback 1 and a cornerback 2, which isn't Cam Sutton because I'd cut him. But as depth, again, like I have no problem with Jerry coming in making plays. He's made a lot of good plays. You just don't want him as cornerback 1 marking a wide receiver 1. That you don't want that. In a lot of other situations against the run, in other facets of the game, he offers you a lot. And he's homemade here basically at this team in his NFL career. So I would keep him for the room.
I think he's not back. I personally don't mind him being back, like as a depth guy. I absolutely not a starter, but depth, I think he's fine. I don't think he comes back. I think that he goes somewhere else and tries to compete for a starter job from his perspective. So you say yes, I say no. Outside linebacker James Houston, he'll be back.
Yeah. He
So
can't
that's
go anywhere else. So
can't go anywhere else. So he'll be back. So we don't got guys that we don't even have a single guy that you're gonna put a franchise tag on. Really don't. I mean, Jonah Jackson may be it, or CJ Gardner-Johnson. That's really it. We don't got big names, and again, that's a good thing. But we do got some free agents we should re-sign, and I think it's going to be good. But showed why depth is so important. Yeah, Rodriguez did with that interception. Depth is vital, man. I think people don't realize it.
I mean, do you remember like year 1 and 2 of Brad? And it was like we did these lists, and it was like bye to the whole list. Like, there's a lot of guys you want to bring back now. That sort of says to your team how much depth you've got here now, that you want to bring a lot of these guys back. Because the first few years, like, we were just saying goodbye, 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 goodbye. Don't want you, yada, yada, because there was just no one worth keeping. Now there is.
Levi out. Yeah, I don't. Maybe he makes.
Use his rookie deal. I mean,
he's still on his rookie deal. He may stay on the team next year.
Tier 4 next year. It's his last year of his rookie deal. So ride that out, unless he's taking up a spot on the team. But
yeah, thank you, Brian Tampa. Man, we appreciate it. You guys had a great season as well. You got a good team there. You got Baker's a good quarterback. You got a solid foundation. You guys will be back in the playoffs. Detroit Lions OC Ben Johnson will turn. Again, that's the breaking news. That's the main news for today. Lions OC returning to Detroit. That's the biggest offseason move, period. I don't care about free agency and the draft. This right now is the biggest free agent move. Ben Johnson returning as OC for the Detroit Lions. Huge, huge news. And again, if you don't know, you had Aaron Glenn. He is interviewing with the Washington Commanders, and Antoine Randall is interviewing for OC for the Bucks. So we have a Bucks fan in here. Antoine Randall is a really good coach. He's the wide receivers coach for the Lions. If you guys choose him to be OC, I don't know about his play calling ability, but he's a hell of a coach. Dr. Detroit says no more free agents this season from Walmart. Well, let's put it this.
He's not had a chance to go bargain. He's had to be a Walmart guy. That's the whole point of building this roster. Build it through the draft, get just enough in free agency to keep your team going, and then hit the button when it really matters. Like, this is the most money he'll have had by a long way. So he's had to go Walmart previously.
You cut Tracy Walker, you save $10 million too. And there's no way they don't, unless he reduces there's no way he stays on this team with the amount of money that he's making right now. Now, he may come back if he reduces his contract, but there's no way this dude is going to be on this team with the contract that he has. Lions going to save $10 million, whether if they work with him or they just straight cut him. That's what they got to do right there. And the Lions will have then $68 million in cap space in free agency. That's insane, considering the fact that we're in the NFC Championship game. Usually teams with this type of money are the really bad teams. This is what happens when you have a lot of rookies on the team and young players on a team, is you have a lot of cap space. So, look, there's free agents they can pick up. And I'm with Dr. D here. I think this free agency, we get, I'd like to get like a Josh Allen or a Danielle Hunter. I think that's what he's talking about right there. And I 100% with them. We need to get another splash edge and maybe a corner.
I think maybe now's the time to make that move now, though.
Yep.
Like, this is like the first time where that window has opened. Even going back to the trade deadline, it's like, no, just stick to the plan, build young, and keep building sustainably. Now you're at the point where you've got a lot of cap space coming up, and you can afford to take a few more of these risks without affecting yourself in the long term. So, I would expect him to go out and be aggressive this year as well now. Like, another 4 top 100 draft picks coming in. You're going to carry on filling this team with young talent. You could afford to be a little bit more risky now in free agency and go out and get the guys that you need to. So I fully expect us to go do something.
100%. If you guys got questions, put it in the comment section right now. I'm just curious to see what you guys were thinking about what's going on. I'm getting right now the free agent list for the rest of the National Football League and see what they got. Let's see if we do that. Lisa, we can move on. Let's see. Maybe a cornerback. We need 2. Yeah, we definitely need. Look, I like Cam Sutton. I think he's a number 2. He's definitely not a number 1, and he showed it this year. What do you want to do at this corner position? Like, where do you want to attack this? Who do you want to get? Because we need help there big time.
In a lovely world, the Bears have messed up Jalen Johnson enough to let him go, and we take him from them because he's due to be out of contract, and they've not been very nice towards him. So if you can go out and get somebody like him and pair him with a first-round corner from the draft and keep your depth around, keep Sutton in, keep Jacobs in, whatever, then your corner room's different instantly. So, I doubt it happens. I guess they get a deal with him done, but in a lovely world, he starts to hold out and they don't pay him, and we do. Like, he'll be worth a lot of money, but we do need to invest heavily in a guy who's in his prime at the position now. We've been burnt by the older veteran who's won it and paid them a lot of money too much, but he fits the profile perfectly. And you'll have seen Monty come over here and had all this success with us. So, like, actually, it's not a bad place to go there, even though I'm a starter here. I can go have some success there, and I'm going to be a big part of it, and they'll pay me some good money. So, if it happened, Jalen Johnson, like, miles ahead of anybody else who I'd take.
Why is it a question? Or I have a question. Why is the problem with Detroit teams celebrate, but when other teams do it, no one says anything? I'm not sure. What are you talking about? I don't know. I think the Lions celebrate. I don't think anybody is mad. What are they mad at for celebrating? I'm not sure. So give me a specific question. We'll definitely answer that for you. If you guys get a question, throw it in the comment section. Let's see. Anyone in the draft that you would move up for? Jared Verse, edge. I think he's someone I would consider moving up for if they wanted to go up in the draft. We need to get edge as well. But, man, it's corner may be the number one need, because I'm looking right now at the free agency list of cornerbacks. Ant-Man, they're not that good. They're really not.
No, you're relying on someone coming out of contract instead. But as far as the draft is, I'd go for Chassain Newton. I would I would go very high for him. Him and Aleem in the center of our defensive line would be unstoppable, and that would just give Aiden so much more freedom to go out and do his thing as well. I would move up for him any day of any week for Chassain Newton.
Jalen Johnson may be the only one that he's going to get paid. He's only 24 years old. It's just not that good for the corner position. Now, they get a lot of good edges here. Edges and interior defensive linemen. Chris Jones in this mug. You got the guys like Johnson, and, man, there's all sorts of Josh Allen. So there's a lot of players in the defensive line. So maybe that's what they hit in free agency, and they go cornerback in the draft. Maybe they get another guy in free agency, but, man, we need to address that corner position. So that could be something a little bit earlier for the Lions in the draft, maybe a first or second round.
You've got to start from scratch. You've got to start building your homegrown stars there, like we have everywhere else. It's, it is one thing going to get a guy in free agency, but we need some youth at the position, and we need some long-term stability at the position. So you've got to give it a high priority in this draft coming, even if you go out and sign a stud in free agency.
Would you guys get Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother for a one-year deal? Take place of Reynolds. Equinanius St. Brown?
To carry the Gatorade.
What's that?
To carry the Gatorade.
If he wants to compete for a roster spot, I'll let him do that. But signing him to a big deal, I don't know about all that. But look, if he wants to compete, I don't mind. Like, anybody can compete to make the roster, but for the 53, I'm thinking probably not. Probably not.
Like, if you said, would I put him in at the expense of Donovan Peoples-Jones, I'd be like, absolutely not. Like, no, I would keep DPJ 100%. Over Equinemius, and that's the kind of spot he'd be going for.
Do we need to draft if Frank the Tank retires? If Frank Tank retires, you have to draft center.
See, this is the question, isn't it? It's, because I've been thinking about this of my own sort of trying to prioritize the Lions draft needs, and even if he doesn't, it has to be in the forefront of your mind that you've got to start training the next guy at center. And when you look at our breakdown at guard, Jonah's hitting free agency, Graham's hitting free agency. Like, Jonah doesn't play center. I don't really want Graham to be my center, with all due respect to him. We don't have the next guy at center anymore. Like, we don't have our young future stud who's going to lead that line behind him. So that has to be in the back of their mind. some kind of versatile inside offensive lineman who can do both, which is why, like, my favorite player in the draft, Christian Haynes, this year, he is the guy who would do that. Like, if someone like him you would draft, you need to have a contingency plan for Frank, because like
Frank's
he's got
beat
5
up, though,
injuries.
Dave. That's the thing. He's beat up. Doesn't
He
matter about
is.
his age. His body's a lot older.
And his toes only going to keep getting worse. Like,
Yeah,
they've said the pain's never going to get better.
I don't think he retires this year. I think he comes back, but you're right. You got to keep that in the back of your mind that he is beat up.
What age did we draft him at if he's 27 now? Because he's already on his he's most of the way through his senior deal. And we had him for his entire rookie contract. I didn't realize he was that young. But still, yeah, you've got to have a contingency in place for him. And currently, right now, we do not. So I think it has to be a higher draft priority than a lot of people think.
Yeah, look, hopefully he can just rest up. He needs to relax a little bit. And I'm getting a phone call really quick. Can you take over?
Yeah, sure. So should we resign CJ Gardner-Johnson and Jonah Jackson? I kind of already said about this, but CJ, I'm really torn. I'm leaning towards no, because Brian Branch has been such a revelation for the team this year, and how he's played. He basically he was groomed to be CJ's successor long term, and Brian Branch looks like a starting nickel already. So I'm just going to give him the reps maybe and save the money going forward. For Jonah, I'm on my own. Well, I'm in a small minority here that want him to stay and want to pay him not top 5 guard money, but if there's a decent offer on the table, I want to keep him. Because for the most part of his career here, he's been healthy. He's been really good. He's been part of this revamped O-line. I want to keep the guys we draft and develop our own stars, and he's one of them. So hopefully there's a world that exists where he does. So that's, with those two, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, man, for sure. Shoving Tebow. Sorry, I gotta leave here soon in about 8 minutes. I gotta end the stream down because I gotta pick somebody up here very soon. That was the call, but yeah, man, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be really interesting to see what they do right there. But again, Ben Johnson returning to the Detroit Lions. Huge news. What does this mean for the Lions offense, Ant-Man?
Continuity. Have the same play caller. You're not rewriting the scripts. You're not having to do it all with a new guy. And most importantly, you're keeping all your offensive staff together, providing the Bucs don't poach Randall L. But that I can live with that. You're going to keep Hank, which is the main thing. You got to keep your offensive line guru here. Like, he's the key to all this, and so is Ben. And for Ben, he's still learning. People always quickly forget that he's been doing this 2 years now. Like, it's not a long time in the grand scheme of things, and he's still got a lot to work on as a play caller. But having the consistency here, having a guy who believes in him, in Dan, who lets him play this aggressive style of football that he likes to, it's great for us. It's great for our quarterback. Like, it's just consistency across the board. Like, the players love him. We love him. He can do a good job. We know he can lead us where we need to. We know he can create one of the best offenses in the league. I mean, and it just shows again to the culture of the place that guys now are actively turning down head coaching positions, because he's done it twice in a row now. This is not like he's just done it once. This is twice, because they want to see the job to fruition here. So it speaks volumes for how people view this team now. Like, we used to be the place where these hot shot coordinators wouldn't even look twice at. Now they're not even looking at other teams because they're like, we want to stay here and do this job. So just for every facet of it, for saying about the culture here, for the continuity of the team, it means everything to us. And hopefully he gets to go out there and win his Lombardi, and then he can have whatever job that he likes next year, not just the commanders, like the bottom feeders like that. Big teams will come after him if they're making changes or someone retires or whatever. So it's just great for us.
Well, folks, I got to go pick up daughter here. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. Sorry, it's going to be a faster show, but kids come first. But I appreciate everybody hanging out. Ben Johnson returning. The Detroit Lions started the offseason great. With that said, I'll talk to you guys later. Adios.